Welcome back to History of Simple Things. Today's topic comes from one of our viewers, Toscanini 1957. Thanks for the suggestion. You asked, where did the term break a leg come from? If you've ever watched a play performed on stage or stood nervously before a big presentation, you've probably heard this phrase used as a way to wish someone good luck. But why would anyone say something that sounds so painful as encouragement? Is it rooted in theater superstition, stage tradition, or something even older? So where did this strange expression actually come from? And how did it become one of the most famous good luck wishes in history? Stick around as we uncover the surprising story behind break a leg, right here on History of Simple Things. The most widely accepted explanation for break a leg comes from the world of theater superstition. Historically, theater folk have been an incredibly superstitious bunch, and for good reason. Performances depended on live audiences, unpredictable actors, fragile sets, open flames for lighting, and very real physical danger. Over time, performers began to believe that directly wishing someone good luck might tempt fate and cause the opposite to happen. So instead, they said something deliberately negative, hoping the universe would do the reverse. In this context, break a leg wasn't meant literally at all. It was a verbal trick, a way to dodge bad luck by insulting it. Similar ideas exist in many cultures, where people avoid praise or positive predictions to prevent misfortune. This theory aligns well with how performers still treat the phrase today, not as a joke, but as a ritual, spoken seriously and almost respectfully. Another popular and surprisingly practical explanation comes from the physical structure of old theaters. In traditional stage design, the vertical curtains on either side of the stage are called legs. When an actor performed well, they were often called back to the stage for additional bows, meaning they had to cross past the curtain legs again and again. So telling someone to break a leg may have originally meant, I hope you perform so well that you're called back on stage repeatedly. In this sense, breaking the leg wasn't about damage, but about crossing the boundary between backstage and the spotlight. This theory is especially appealing because it connects directly to success, applause, and audience approval, exactly what performers hope for. While it's difficult to prove definitively, many theater historians consider this explanation highly plausible. There's also a linguistic theory that traces break a leg back to European theater traditions, particularly German and Yiddish expressions. One German phrase, Hals- und Beinbruch, literally translates to neck and leg break, but functionally means good luck. Similarly, there's a Yiddish expression, which I'll display on the screen instead, that means success and blessing, and some scholars believe it may have been misheard or anglicized over time by English-speaking performers. As theater traditions moved across Europe and into English-speaking countries, phrases often shifted in sound and meaning. While this theory isn't universally accepted, it highlights how theatrical language evolved organically through cultural exchange, accents, and oral tradition, especially in an era before scripts and slang were standardized. Despite some popular myths, break a leg does not come from ancient Greece, Shakespeare personally, or Roman gladiators. There's no credible historical evidence linking the phrase to bowing traditions, kneeling audiences, or literal broken bones as signs of devotion. These explanations tend to sound dramatic but fall apart under scrutiny. Most reliable linguistic records place the phrase's emergence in the early 20th century, particularly within English-speaking theater communities. That timeline matters because it rules out many older legends and reinforces the idea that this was a modern theatrical superstition, rather than an ancient ritual passed down for thousands of years. Over time, break a leg escaped the theater and found its way into everyday language. Today, it's used not just for actors, but for musicians, athletes, public speakers, and even people heading into job interviews. What's interesting is that even outside theater, the phrase still carries a slightly playful, ironic tone, as if everyone understands that the words mean the opposite of what they say. That's the power of tradition. Even people who don't know where the phrase came from still sense that it's special, different from an ordinary good luck wish. It feels ceremonial, like you're passing along a small piece of cultural history. So why has break a leg survived when so many old expressions fade away? Part of the reason is emotional. Performing is vulnerable. You step in front of strangers and hope they like what you've prepared. The phrase acknowledges that tension without directly naming it. It says, "I know this matters to you," without jinxing the moment. It also creates a sense of belonging. When someone tells you break a leg, they're speaking the language of performers, even if only briefly. They're stepping into a tradition that values shared rituals, inside jokes, and respect for the unpredictability of live performance. In the end, break a leg is a perfect example of how language evolves in unexpected ways. What sounds like a curse is actually a blessing, shaped by superstition, architecture, culture, and centuries of shared anxiety about stepping into the spotlight. Whether it began as a way to dodge bad luck, a reference to stage curtains, or a borrowed phrase from another language, its meaning is clear today. It's a quiet vote of confidence, a nod from one human to another saying, "I hope this goes well, so well that the universe notices." And the next time you hear it, you'll know that behind those strange words is a long history of applause, nerves, and hope waiting just beyond the curtain. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.